Good morning, everybody, from wherever in the world you are. It is a beautiful morning here in Sandringham. It looks like we might be getting our first sunrise in the week. There's a little gap in the clouds. We're hoping for the sun to peek through there. Good morning, everybody. My name is Daniel Fisher, and on camera this morning we've got Paul. And if you know Sandringham, lions are what we're looking for this morning, and we're going to be in the bush searching for them. We are not alone here this morning either. We've got David up in the Mara, we've got Kelly at Mabula, and we've got Eric in the Sabi Sands. We've got an amazing opportunity to set out on an adventure. All sorts of things were happening yesterday afternoon, all with our own plans and different agendas for a pretty wild live safari this morning. So stay tuned. Looking forward to seeing what we can find.
Now, our lioness here, who is a member of the Marsh Pride, who has been mating with, I guess, Okingo for the last 6-7 days, she's struggling to throw up. And if that could be the case, possibly, she could be pregnant by now. And if she is, she could be suffering from morning sickness. The male seems to have been in the mud somewhere, and you can see either he ate something, because that belly looks bigger than it was yesterday. Timber, you never know. And Timber, look at him drinking. And possibly Timber, I got a feeling they must have eaten something yesterday. If you look at the belly of that female, she's just too big. Of course, if she got pregnant, it's too early, even to show any signs of a big belly for cubs. But I think they got something for themselves. Look at the male having a drink there. Just finished drinking, and they normally have to move very quickly. He's back to the drink. That's an indication that last night they got something. When I left them, almost 6:30 p.m., it was too dark. They remained the same spot they were. I got a feeling they caught something for themselves. Not sure is a combination of things from what they ate plus what we're thinking could be the morning sickness.
I was about to say how frustrated we're getting in the tracking process, and bang, there's a lion. Jeez, what a morning, a tracking morning. It's unbelievably rewarding when you get it right. Jane, you did right. Passanwari definitely stands out like a lighthouse. Unbelievably compared to everybody else. It actually makes looking for them slightly easier. You do have to have him moving around, but yeah, he's at a huge disadvantage sticking out so much. You'd rather just blend in. And the sleeping lions are sleeping. That one looks like it's got a very full belly. I wouldn't say very full, but it certainly is full. And this is exactly where those buffalo were yesterday. I wonder if this pride isn't trailing that herd of buffalo. I'm sure. A lion pride this large, one of the lions is up there, would spend a lot of time trailing that buffalo herd, because there are lots of buffalo in there and there's not unlimited areas for them to go. Oh, Passanwari is also up there. Let's see what they do. Might just be a readjustment and a moving of comfy positions. Does Passanwari look like he's eaten? He looks pretty similar to yesterday. They might just be moving positions. And let's see what the reaction is here. Harry, is this lion considered albino or albinism or leucistic? It's leucistic, or it's leucism. It's a recessive gene, whereas albinism is a mutation. So it's a very natural thing. It's just the color of his coat is white. It's interesting to see that male get up and move, kind of put himself between, I guess, one of those females and Passanwari young male. He's still a little bit young, but you'll see as he gets a little bit older, even if it is his father, they will start pushing him away. Passanwari is going to start looking at the lionesses around him and thinking about a potential opportunity to breed, almost like an instinctive reaction when they get to a few years old. And that's kind of like the point when his father and the males that are in charge of the area will start chasing the younger ones out.
Little guys come to feed right in front of us here. Ooh. So far on the brain, I mean, elephants every now and then will. I've seen elephants chewing bones before. They kind of gnaw on them a little bit. Extra calcium is always needed. Calcium and phosphorus are main reasons why you'll find animals munching on bones. If you want it, you must take it.
Maheo, come in.
Chilean, absolutely. This is so special. Yeah, FM, I haven't heard any new updates.
Any eagle sighting this side?
I think there was a Watika sighting at some stage, but I'm not too sure where she was. Very cool. Very cool.
I want to get
Copy. I know Talamba and Sipondo on Torchwood, they went mobile there this morning.
No relocation for the Ngala with Matwan, little guy.
Negative. I know Cats and Mabula were trying there, but no luck.
Now, you remember we were talking about ellies, and I gave you the local name for elephants here, and I told you we call them Tembo, Tembo. One of them was scratching herself on that big tree, the East African greenheart tree. It was very itchy. That one there. I'm not sure she wants to do it again. Ha 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 ha. The mother, the calf can't allow her to scratch her body because she also wants to nurse at the same time. Some of these trees, when you go to them, the base is always very smooth. It's because of what ellies do. Rhinos, and sometimes buffaloes. Lucy elephant spend about 16, 17, 18 hours feeding, and for that reason it's only fair they remain standing the better part of the day. So I think they're so designed in a way that they carry their own bodies and they're able to feed. You'd imagine Lucy, an elephant lying down on the side on the belly. No, more often than not, they lie on their side. They'll not be able to eat. Elephants are not ruminants, they don't chew cud. So you would imagine 18 hours standing is a long time, but they need it to cover much ground, to get lots of food, to be able to maintain their big bodies. Now, the middle guy, the middle gentleman there, or not sure it's male or female, if you look carefully, James will go to her. She is missing a tail. Zero tail. Not close to my favorite boy, Moja Moja, but this one has zero tail. Not sure if it's genetical or could have got some sort of infection and lost the tail at the very base. We have seen elephants born like that without the tails. We have seen some getting sickly and the tail falling off.
This is, we've been sitting here a couple of minutes and I always like to check that animals are feeling nice and comfortable before I decide to switch off and stay. And as we were sitting here, this rhino laid down to have a drink, which tells me all I need to know, I think. Animals will not stay laying down, or certainly start laying down, if they're not feeling comfortable. And young ones will not nurse, or mothers won't allow young ones to nurse if they also feel there's any particular danger or concern, or there might be a need to react quickly. But this is a little bit lazy, but clever. Lily, that is indeed a big baby. They do grow surprisingly quickly though. White rhinos will suckle up till, again, information tells us about 1.5 to 2. But it will sometimes depend as well on if mum has another calf. Also resources, again, all the normal caveats. But yeah, this just getting a little bit of extra traction there. Look at that little short stumpy leg. This does actually feel like a fairly large baby to be suckling to me. But who am I to judge? Look at that little cute leg sticking out there. Go on, push. It's enough. It's finished.
We got a surprise for you, ladies and gentlemen. And for the very first time since we have been here in the Masai Mara for about a month, we got a black rhino. I just got a whisper about the black rhino while in camp after lunch, and I left a bit early to get to this destination. And this is a big news for me. It's even bigger news for Big James, because he tells me after the elephants, his second, animal that he likes to film will be the rhinos, which have been a bit elusive. And James is just being a bit cheeky. He is reminding me, David, remember, I only talk about elephants. Okay, that's all right. I have no issues. Fine, James, I agree with you 100%. Yes, Ellies are your favorite animals to film. And there is a boy who is on his own in the open savanna. Look at the size of his tusks. And I'm sure all of you are excited by the black rhino, which is the very first one we are seeing since we came to the Mara, myself and Big James, over a month ago. Pretty difficult to tell whether it's a male or a female from here. And of course, unless you're a little closer, males being a little larger in size. Well, our sighting here is getting very exciting because these are two mammals and they're totally different species in any way, shape or form you might think about them. And every time or every minute, the gap between them is getting shorter and closer. Just looking at the horns a little close, or rather a little closely with my binoculars, they seem to be a bit longish and thin. And if that would be the case, then possibly it could be a female. Alright, so hello. What are you up to, guys? I haven't seen these before. Someone has to wink here. Okay, Miss Tiley, you have no reason to go for each other. That train is too small for you. You've got dangerous weapons with you, the tusks. They're huge, they're massive, and they could easily hurt that rhino. Wonderful, such a gentleman.
Welcome back, everybody. So we're just moving down the river here from where the lions were, and we had to stop at these beautiful spurwing geese in the river. And this bird is actually pretty special. Look at it, it's actually showing you a bit of the color. You'll see when they fly, there's quite a lot of white underneath the tummies. The one on the left looks like it's maybe the offspring of those two potentially, or a younger one with less white underneath it. But these are very large geese. I think they're weighing, like the males are actually bigger than the females and weigh about 5 kilos or so, which is enormous. And although not the fastest flying bird in the world, this bird is the fastest flying goose in the world. And I think, if I remember correctly, it can reach up to about 150 kilometers an hour or so in a level flight, which is much faster than the peregrine falcon, which is the fastest bird in the world. But the peregrine falcon uses altitude and gravity and flying down to reach speeds of, I think it was about 350 kilometers plus or so, which is much faster. But the peregrine falcon cannot fly as quickly as these spurwing geese in level flight. Because they're so big, they look like they're flying slowly, but they are motoring. They're pretty dominant as well in certain areas. I don't see too many of them in the Kruger Park. I thought it's a good one for us to spot out here. Marcus, it's a lovely day in Africa for sure. And there's also something, I mean, this watering hole on a hot day like today will produce unbelievable sightings. I just want to creep forward a little bit quickly here. There's a crocodile as well on the bank. He's out sunning himself, trying to take advantage of the last little bit of heat in the day. So let's see, he's on the back, and there's a hippo there as well. Yeah, this watering hole is... Let's change there. There he is. And Paul was saying, can you imagine walking down that game path, coming to fish or collect water, and you bump into that crocodile? I think his first reaction and his response would be to quickly run into the water. Crocodile feels very vulnerable. You'd make a big splash and get a big fright. I mean, crocodiles are far better adapted to operating in the water. On land, they feel slightly vulnerable. He also uses his cover and an ambush predator. He'll lie in wait in the water, generally coming out of the water to catch something, if that's what's on the menu. And they often mostly eat fish as well, actually.
Oh, have a look at this. Something that we're not always able to get because they're sometimes a little bit skittish. I'm not going to talk too loud because they're quite skittish animals, but we have ourselves a Steinbock or Steenbock, as we call them. Some people call them Steinbocks. It's just the way that it's spelled. Synbok. Some people pronounce the Y sty instead of steer. But in actual fact, it's actually Steenbok. Jeff, yes, it's quite nice to see these little guys. So this is a female, a little female. It's a little girl instead of little guy. Not too sure if she's feeding on the fruit of the jackalberry that is sort of slowly starting to lose its leaves here. I think that's, we've witnessed the impala doing a lot of that. But I'm sure this jackalberry had more leaves on it, didn't it? I'm sorry. I mean, we had quite a nice elephant sighting around this particular tree, and it seemed as if they wanted to try and pull down some of the branches, but the branches are not in any reach for them, unfortunately. Some elephants in the past have beat them to it. So that they do make noises. You usually only hear them making noises when they are being attacked by an animal. Usually little maybe a little bit more high pitched. It's definitely a scream of some form.
Our queen is hunting. There is the aforementioned group of eland with tiny calves. Oh, my heart's beating quite quickly. Oh, she's looking good though. The wind is not really in her favour either. The eland have moved out of my sight now, but I'm not prepared to reposition. I don't want to disrupt anything that's going on here. We saw these eland earlier, and while they didn't look nervous, I don't want to have any impact. Oh, Queen, be careful. Laura Moore. Oh, I'm really tense. Maybe there will be a straggler, but I've been watching these eland and I've seen they keep their youngsters quite well together and corralled. So whether or not they would make a mistake. Oh, yeah. She's disappeared into this long grass just in front of us here. But I don't want to drive exactly up to where she went in, because I don't want anything to go wrong here, because if anything spooks any of these animals and she got injured because of anything that I had any part in, I would be utterly devastated. So I'm just going to give it a minute. We're not going to be able to see her in this super long grass. It could be that she's still carrying on this hunt in this long grass.
Welcome back, everybody. Listen carefully. That male lion, I can't see him right now, but he just started to call, or it sounded like he was warming up to call. He's moved off. We're sitting with this lioness as well. And the lionesses have split up. The males have gone back towards the river. The males shouldn't be calling if they're hunting, but it might be a form of distraction as well. And this lioness sitting here, incredibly well camouflaged, is also lying in wait in case those other lionesses chase. Listen. As a reply. Oh. I don't know if you can hear the other one. Amazing. How awesome is that? Sound is traveling, and these lions are split up all along here. Fiona, why does it look like she's not putting in so much effort for that roar? You're right, she's not giving it her full. She knows the lions that she needs to communicate with are not far away. So if she was putting in full effort, her roar would travel for a few kilometers. But this one is just going a few hundred meters or so, or needing to go a few hundred meters. She doesn't need to exert that energy and tell the whole area that she's here. The males didn't reply to those calls. Those were two females that were calling there. I wonder where the males have gone actually. They could go on a completely separate journey. In the evening they've got a different agenda to the lionesses. The lionesses' real agenda is security and safety, particularly for the cubs. And the males, I guess that's also their agenda, but they do it in a different way. They need to kind of patrol and ensure that there are no new male lions coming into this area. So they advertise their presence by calling like we've just seen. And that will generally be a bit louder and a bit more assertive and designed to travel much further. They do so by scent marking. There we go again. Another one to our right who's in a different spot, starting to roar as well. It's the first time we've heard it. The lions are all around us actually. This could be a form of communication and trying to coordinate. Wonder if they're not going to join up with each other. I think the intention coming up onto this bank and moving around into this shape was to hunt and try and see if they can get an early meal. Big strong lioness.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us on our sunset safari. We hope you all enjoyed it, and we hope that you will join us tomorrow as we head out on our sunrise safari. 5:30 we start, and hoping that we can see some more lovely sightings and give you an absolute thrill. But until then, we hope that you enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening, and we shall see you all tomorrow.